world elites descending on Davos to strategize how to fix all the world's problems. President Biden's climate czar, former Secretary of State John Kerry, boasting about a plan to save our planet.
It's pretty extraordinary that we, select group of human beings, because of whatever touched us at some point in our lives, are able to sit in a room and come together and actually talk about saving the planet. I mean, it's so almost extraterrestrial to think about, quote, saving the planet. And if you said that to most people, they think you're just a crazy tree-hugging, lefty, liberal, do-gooder, whatever.
And former Vice President Al Gore painting a rather dismal picture of what pollution is doing to Mother Earth.
That's what's boiling the oceans, creating these atmospheric rivers and the rain bombs and sucking the moisture out of the land and creating the droughts and melting the ice and raising the sea level and causing these waves of climate refugees predicted to reach 1 billion in this century. We have to act.
The Vice President has been moved by this issue for a long time. Dana, as you think about this, is this the right forum for these, or do good ideas come out of this forum? Are there actionable ideas that come out of it, or is this just a bunch of rich people?
I know that 1,040 private planes showed up for this meeting. I don't know if they attended Al Gore's lecture there. As to what John Kerry said, he said, "Isn't it amazing that we were touched? We are the special ones. We are the ones here who are we get to sit in a room and talk about saving the planet. What about doing to save the planet? And what about the people who are not touched, like John Kerry, who might live in Nairobi, in the Congo, maybe in places in Africa, for example, where they've been denied the ability to develop resources so that they could have their own energy and electricity and become more independent, which could lead to more innovation so that we could get to something like fusion sooner, and we could all do something good for the planet on that point." Here's the thing also. They want to focus on climate change, but they don't talk about China. The China Energy Investment Group, that is the main entity that's expanding use of coal there. Why wouldn't they talk about it there? Well, guess what I found out? They're a sponsor,
of course,
of Davos.
Of course.
Judge, you sound like you're ready. What do you think about this?
I'm really ready. I mean, China is everywhere. China's in the universities. China's in the colleges. I mean, it's in the government. We shouldn't be surprised. It's in sports. It's in movies. Here's what we are a select group of human beings. Imagine we're talking about the planet. The rest of the people, they're just rubes. They don't know anything. There is such a condescending, kind of arrogant. They pontificate about themselves. And the truth is they're spending our tax dollars. We're working and they're spending our money. We've already spent $1 trillion for renewable energy. And it's the richest countries that have the lowest carbon emissions. Other than, China, which is not the richest yet. But the money that's being spent, because they talk about money, is money that the United States is giving to other governments. So they tax us, call us rubes, and then they run around in their private planes.
Greg, in the green room, you told me, just kidding. What do you think about this speech by Vice President Gore?
Well, I agree with you completely. It was an absolute, total embarrassment. And I'm glad you said that. You can look back in the show and you'll find it there. Why is it, so you look at like Al Gore, you look at John Kerry, why are the people that are so consumed by the health of the planet look so unhealthy? Why do they look so sick? I mean, they're talking about sucking the moisture out of the earth. That guy looks like he needs watering, right? He's got the complexion of a dilapidated tumbleweed. And I mean, they're all like driftwood. They all come together for 1 year and pat each other on their splintered backs. I'll tell you what. You know what? I forgot what I was going to say. Stelter's there when all else fails. Stelter is there talking about disinformation.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? Right. What's he going to talk about next? How to get washboard abs? Seriously. I'm not invited to these things because I have solutions. And if you go there with solutions, they can't have their fun anymore. So the climate change thing is great because every year that's always going to be the problem, always the problem. You can still have your Davos party, you can still fly in because it'll never be solved.
First time, interesting for Davos, the oil company CEOs are in demand at this conference for the first time in a long time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just glad Greg is now talking about people's physical appearances. It's nice to have someone else pull their weight around here. Bush beat these two guys, Kerry and Gore, and now they've fallen apart. They're losers, and they know it, so now they have to be someone else's savior. If you're Al Gore and you have to create a term called a rain bomb to convince me that I need to give up more of my money to save the world, that's not doing it. Boiling the oceans, talk about it normally, and then maybe I'll be more open-minded. And a little advice for John Kerry. You don't say you're saving the world. You say you saved the world. It's very arrogant to say that you're saving it. Save it and then brag. That's what I did.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.